a memory that didn't contain Stephanie. We were very fortunate to grow up with a sister who we could also call a friend. That's not to say there weren't fights and tears, but there was nothing that a super sorry couldn't fix. We've come a long way since these road trips in the car, and you've turned into a very strong and amazing person. Mom would have been so proud to see the woman, nurse, aunt, and sister that you turned into. We know how hard it must have been to put on your wedding dress today and walk down the aisle without her, but Mom has been an integral part of this special day. We can see her in the smiles of her grandchildren, and the laughter at the table tonight, and the tears shed as Chad and you said your vows. She would have truly enjoyed welcoming Chad into our ever-growing family, and she will continue to guide the two of you as you begin your new life with one another. Did it? Good. And cry. Chad, we want to officially welcome you to this crazy group. Sorry. We thought that you may be the one when you were researching information on sea turtles in order to impress Stephanie. We hoped you were the one after you spent a week with all of us in North Carolina. Again, sorry. And then we knew you were the one when you informed pretty much everyone in this room that you were going to propose to Stephanie several months in advance, and no one spoiled the secret. You've blended quite well and are already one of us. You bring so much into our lives, like introducing us to beer and music at the beach. You bring a voice of reason and calmness to the group, and you're able to ground our baby sister and then encourage her to push herself into new challenges that she didn't even know she could handle. We love the two of you even more together. It's hard to think of a time when we weren't part of each other's lives. We love how you're trying new things with each other. We are amazed that you had the courage to leave your family and friends and build a new life that weaves both of your worlds so tightly together. We are blessed to be part of this new adventure and look forward to what the future holds. So please raise your glasses and join us in toasting Mr. and Mrs. Almuno. Now at last we will begin chapter 1 of the great love story no one on earth has ever read, which goes on forever, in which every chapter is better than the one before. Thank you.
Let's give one big round of applause, one more round of applause for Beth and Kate.
All right. Thanks everyone for coming tonight. We're very excited to be here and we're very excited to be speaking tonight. We're the two best men. I'm Moon, this is Kang. First thing we'd like to do is thank the parents, Dr. and Mrs. Stiff, and Mr. and Mrs. Almuno. Thank you for such a lovely evening. Alright, without further ado, we're going to jump right in. So our speech is predicated on theme. It's Chad versus Jundi. So, Chad, right over here, look at this guy. Nice, beautiful human being.
Bro, there's other people.
Things to know about Chad is he's cool. He asked us to write this speech for him, and he's actually 1 inch taller than me. On the other hand, we got Chundi. Chundi's a big nerd. He told us to keep this speech to under 3 minutes, and he's 1 inch shorter than me.
So, Stephanie, I don't think there's anything we can tell you about Chad that you don't already know. We can at least give you some insight into our friendships with him and some perspective into the guy that we know. Because remember, to really get Chad, it's important to understand that there is Chad and Chundi.
So let's start with Chad over here. Chad, look at this guy. Beautiful, beautiful human being. But just like Stephanie's nails, this persona is well manicured. Let's start with this hair over here. Anyone that knows Chad knows that there's about 3 pounds of Labella hair gel just making that coif right there. If we go down to the smile, beautiful smile. That smile has literally garnered thousands of likes. All of them likes. All over the Facebook. But it's not just Chad's good looks. It's also the fact that he's just really cool. Chad is so cool that Google Maps takes directions from him. How else can we explain his driving? But in seriousness, it's with great pains that I have to admit that Chad is the funniest human being I know.
Yeah, and speaking of funny, so then there's Chandi. He's kind of a nerd. He's smart and hardworking. He's a very serious, clean-cut, academic professional. He was valedictorian in high school, a Northwestern undergrad, a Loyola medical student, a Loyola urology resident, a U of M fellow, and now an assistant professor. During residency, he had more papers published than all other residents combined. He is truly one of the most remarkable persons I've ever met. He just strives to be the very best at anything he does, and I have no doubts that he'll make an incredible husband. He'll outwork everyone and anyone until he's mastered whatever it is that he has his sights on, with one exception: sports. Neither Chad nor Chandi knows anything about sports. It's his Achilles heel in life.
So this is where I get sentimental. So Chad, I've had many great, wonderful conversations with him throughout the years, but my favorite conversation I've ever had with him had to deal with boundaries and invisible boundaries. And I'll just sum up the conversation in a second, but really it deals with everything you do, you have to take into other people's considerations and their feelings with every action you take. This was really my first look at how empathetic Chad can be. So Stephanie, you've got a very empathetic man on your hands here, so good for you. Good for you. But I went out to dinner with Chad the other week, and I'm going to flip it over to you. And I asked Chad to describe you in 3 words. And the same 3 words were actually used last night: beautiful, kind, and intelligent. Stephanie, I'm very much looking forward to getting to know you over the years, doing more vacations together, and many more brunches. But let's bring it home with King over here.
Thanks, Moon. So I also have a final few words to say. But this was actually really hard for me, because when I was writing the speech, because how do you summarize 23 years of friendship into a few minutes? I'll tell you how, with poetry. This is for a boy, little Caesar.
Look, if you had one opportunity, one moment, to capture it all, or just let it slip.
So I ain't gonna lie to you, we go way back, right? 28 years ago to when you wanted to fight. It was my mistake. I called you Gandhi. You grabbed me by the shirt and said the name is Chandi. I'll never forget, and I hope you don't too. That was the beginning, the start of being you. Fast forward a few years and we're a dynamic team coming out from the wild 100s of Carroll Stream. No matter where life takes us, near or far, we're still the original Harold and Kumar. We grew up together through our teenage years. I fought all the bullies so you could be spared. But things have changed. I guess people haven't heard. If this was a movie, it'd be Revenge of the Nerds. You're a doctor now, a man of prestige. You got the girl, she's way out your league. One moment. Let me give you some advice as your best friend from the past. Do whatever she says if you want this to last. Speak the truth. You know you're my dog, but she's the princess and you're the frog. It's not all bad news in this game of life. You found a woman who wants to be your wife. It's worth more than money. It's better than fame. Mrs. Stephanie Ellie Muto. It's got a nice ring to it when you say it out loud. So let's raise your glass and make a toast to love, to life, to a wonderful host. To Chandi.
To Stephanie.
This is your fairy tale classic.
Of Beauty and the Geek.
Complete with happily ever after.
A love story yet to peak.
Really that. There you go.
My name is Sibley, Chad's younger sister.
And better sister.
When Steph, my brother, asked if I could deliver a short 3 to 6 minute speech at the reception, I didn't hesitate for a second. I thought, what a perfect opportunity to get him back for all the pranks he's ever played on me, all the times he's made fun of me, and all the embarrassing situations he's ever put me in. Basically, I have a room full of his closest friends and family to completely roast this kid. But this won't be a roast because for the first time in his life, I can truly tell him how much he means to me. Aside from my parents, I'm the only one that has seen him through all his milestones in his life. From a screaming, yelling baby, to a temper tantrum throwing toddler, to a skinny, blonde-haired teenager that wore oversized clothes and oversized glasses, to now a screaming, yelling, temper tantrum throwing groomzilla who sends out 55 emails ensuring we follow all his directions. Emails that include graphs, charts, step-by-step directions, when to take bathroom breaks, and the only times allowed for relaxation. As children, we were best friends, so close in fact we made up our own language. We did everything together, not because we had similarities, in fact we were polar opposite, but because he had no friends, and my friends took him in as they're all my friends over there. Through all those years and countless memories, I've seen his many good qualities, some of which I wanted to highlight in the 3 minutes I have left now. We came from humble beginnings. Our parents migrated here in the 70s in hopes of a brighter future for their children. They worked tirelessly and made a lot of sacrifices to make sure we received an education and grow up to be decent human beings. Their strong work ethic rubbed off on my brother and helped him reach his full potential. As a child, he had great ambition, determination, and courage. Ambition and determination to achieve success in whatever challenge that was given, and the courage to think and act outside the box. In high school, he worked hard to graduate top in his class. In college, he figured out what he wanted to do with his life. In medical school, he realized there will always be someone else, smarter and better, in the room. In residency, he learned 2 things: how to sleep while driving, how to get as many parking tickets as possible just to frustrate my parents. Through all these years, the quality that has remained the same from childhood to adulthood is humbleness. My brother is one of the most humble people I have ever known. He is also one of the most compassionate, caring, loyal individuals I have ever known. Anyone that meets him doesn't need his degrees, his research, his ambitious professional life, or his success. They need his sense of humor, his love for life, his honesty, and his compassion. You have everyone in your life in all the good times, but it's when you're at your lowest point that you truly understand what unconditional love and loyalty is about. Not only has my brother been there for me for all the good times, but he has remained my rock in my lowest times. No matter what was going on in his life, he put it aside to hold me up, make me laugh, and help me figure out a solution. Friends always ask if I'm going to encourage my brother to move to Texas. And I always say, it doesn't matter if he's 3 blocks away, 3 states away, or 3 countries away. He will always be there for my family in the good times and bad. Our friendship will only grow stronger as we get older, no matter where each one of us lives. Any one of his friends can tell you stories how he has been there for them in some form or other. The care and compassion he shows for my family extends not only to his friends, colleagues, but to his patients as well. Compassion, loyalty, honesty, ambition, and determination, a few of the many qualities he possesses which makes him an amazing brother and will make him an amazing husband. From our Value City days to sitting here right now, we've come a long way. To the beautiful bride, Stephanie. Today, you did not become my sister-in-law, but my sister. From the moment you figured out our secret language, I knew you were the one God chose for my brother, and all the time I spent with you just confirmed it. The bond you share with your brothers and sisters makes me happy because it shows me you know the value of an amazing sibling relationship can mean. Jake and I are so blessed to have you and my brother as role models for our children. As they've closed one chapter and started another, I'm ending at 5 minutes and 58 seconds with the same quote my brother gave in his speech at his high school graduation. Winston Churchill once said, "Have no fear of the future. Let us go forward into its mysteries and move onwards with confidence and courage." Stephanie and Chad, as you close your individual chapters and start one together as husband and wife, may God bless you, and I love you guys so much.
I'm Patrick Stiff, brother of the bride, or as my father would say, the warm-up act. I'll try to be brief. I know we are significantly behind schedule. So, 4 years ago to the day, and it didn't go by a blink, I had the honor of introducing her new nephew, Patrick Allen, to Stephanie. She got to the hospital early that morning after calling off of work to wait anxiously with my in-laws. She even came with breakfast in tow for the nursing staff. And I can't confirm it, but I'm fairly certain she also gave them their marching orders that morning, and a very detailed and elaborate schedule too. It's such an honor to stand here now today to thank her for all that she's done for me, and to welcome another member to our family, our new brother Chad. One of my first memories of Chad happened a few years ago. Stephanie told me a little bit about him when they had started dating, and of course, like any good older brother, I had to look him up and found out he was a brilliant neurologist who also worked at Loyola. All right, Steph. A couple of weeks later, I was at Loyola waiting with Stephanie for a few appointments with my cardiologist that she set up for me. We were waiting in the lobby, and we get a group text from Astrid. Apparently, our dad was in a lot of pain. Astrid got him to Loyola. It was likely he was going to have his appendix removed. Before I move on, I just want to point out that my dad, especially for you people who haven't met him yet, he's a freaking rock star. He's a Stritch Medal Award winner this past fall. Yeah! This guy has run, I think, 3 marathons and planning on a 4th. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, hiked to the Everest Base Camp, and drove a snowmobile for days to try to see polar bears in the North Pole.
Warriors!
Poor Astrid. He and her went on a 2-week trip to Antarctica to see penguins last year. Anyways, fast forward an hour or so, we're in the waiting room with Astrid, and now Beth, who had called on her first day of school while they admit my dad. Beth leans over and asks Stephanie, "Is Chad working today?" Stephanie's eyes grow huge. Immense dread fills her face as she quickly realized that he was. I'm going to pause for a few seconds and let you connect the dots. Stephanie recently meets new boyfriend Chad, a brilliant neurologist at Loyola, who's working the same day that the father's being admitted for urgent and minor surgery. If you're still not sure, take out your phone and Google the word Foley. I've never seen someone text anybody faster than Stephanie texted Chad that day. Thankfully, it was assigned to another doctor. Talk about an interesting way.
He's here!
The doctor's here? Can you stand up, please? A round of applause. Talk about an interesting way to meet the man whose daughter you're going to marry. Life certainly has its ups and downs, its peaks and pits. Today certainly is a peak. To be surrounded by so many friends and family who love you, who are excited to share your joy is a blessing. Stephanie, Mom would be so thrilled that you found someone as incredible as Chad. Someone who you could love like crazy and who will love you the same way back. Someone who makes you laugh at frustration and someone who makes you all better. She'd be so proud that you are the person you are today, as we all are proud of the person that you are today. Chad, our family has always been blown away with how incredible you are. You're brilliant yet understandable, decisive yet accommodating, always needed yet always accessible. It's no question why you and Stephanie are such a great pair. There's no doubt that you will go on and continue to do amazing things professionally and personally, but I'm just excited that we now get to share these milestones with you. I said this at my wedding 8 years ago. I definitely felt it 4 years ago when our son was born, and I've really reflected on it these past few months. Life is divided into two parts, what is and what you wish it would be. Seeing you two today, making a promise to love each other for the rest of your days, confirms that with a lot of hard work, and perhaps a little luck, sometimes those two parts touch. We Stiffs have a huge penchant for traditions, in case you hasn't noticed, Chad. With the Thanksgiving 5K, Christmas jammies and late night Christmas stories, cinnamon bread on all major holidays, and how everyone gets a birthday celebration. I should also point out, we Stiffs are Scottish, and my father has a nice cache of scotch behind the bar for those who are interested. So to keep a tradition, from my younger brother at my wedding to Cindy, me at my father's wedding to Astrid, and now me to you both at your wedding, I ask that everyone raise a glass to this couple for this Scottish blessing. Stephanie and Chad, may you have walls for the wind, a roof for the rain, and drinks beside the fire. May you have laughter to cheer you, and those you love near you, and may you have all that your hearts desire. To Stephanie and Chad.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming to celebrate this very important day for our son Sunil and his new wife Stephanie. We are so happy to have friends and family travel from all over the country to be with us. Particularly thanks you to our family who have traveled from Philadelphia, New York, Dallas, Washington, Minnesota, and even India. Also thanks for research and areas. We also want to thank Dr. Steph and Aster for helping to plan such a beautiful wedding. We have enjoyed meeting on several occasions, and we are happy, excited to become parts of our one big, lovely family. Stephanie, we are very happy to have you in our family. You are a very special person, and we cannot think of a better person to become our son's partner and our new doctor. Thank you for
As Patrick mentioned, I have brought 4 of my very special limited edition up to 42-year-old scotch, which will be, even the bartender woke up, that we're going to be celebrating with after the meal. So there are a lot of speeches here today, and somebody last night who was old wanted to know why there were so many speeches. And I think it's because we're living in the era of the Friends or what's that mother show? How I Met My Mother. When we grew up, we had Lassie and a couple other shows like that. Father Knows Best. And the current shows, everybody sits around and gets real professorial and talks about wonderful things and have like lectures and when we were growing up, we watched my Father Knows Best, and in Father Knows Best and Lassie, what would happen is the kids would screw up, somebody would rat on them, and then Lassie would rat on them. And then the parents would do something really smart. In real life, they beat the shit out of us. And then everybody was happy ever after. So kids kind of slunk away and didn't say or do anything because they didn't want to get noticed. So that's why we're having so many speeches. But hey, I'm the father of the bride, so I get to do one. So before we get started, I'd like to thank my wife Astrid, not only for helping me with these remarks, but all the ideas and hard work she also put into making this a very special event for Stephanie and Chad. Truly amazing. I am the lucky one. Thanks also to my entire family for making this special, as well as the Ella Moodles, all of them for coming and celebrating with us. Now, when I was looking for inspiration for this talk, I turned to Google, of course. And of all the advice, other than to be funny, short, and complimentary, they specifically advised me not to mention those who would not attend, present or past. They said it would be a downer and would take away from the happy celebration. But how could we not mention our amazing Betsy, without whom this day would not be so special? She continues to inspire all of us, making us a better, more successful, fulfilled, and happy individual, that having her be with us in person is sad indeed. But I know we are blessed by her presence and feel her inspiration in everything that we say and do. She has helped each one of us in our family, and as strange as it may feel, she also grants us special favors every day, and will probably continue to do so as long as we take care of her beloved dog, Peyton. So for tonight, she has inspired me to say on behalf of her the following to the two of you. I love you and I am proud of you. You have fulfilled my wishes as a mother, and I know you will continue to do so. You are an amazing couple. Continue to share in my ideal of helping the less fortunate. And Chad, you better take good care of my Stephanie, or thunderbolts will rain down on you. Betsy never minces words, right, Nadine? I know. Resilience. Probably not a word you ever heard in the father of the bride talk, but this I feel typifies the couple each in their own special way. So it is appropriate to supply a couple of examples of Stephanie's resilience for you. Stephanie had horrible asthma as a child and today still hates ice cream, which is how we got her to take her meds. But she rose to the top of her swimming events, and at age 9, completing an A events in breaststroke. She was a natural. I particularly remember a regional championship at Westmont with her swimming in the championship heat. The gun went off and the clock started, but it was a false start. She kept swimming and swimming until she nearly reached the other side of the pool. They practically had to drag her out of it. Rather than take a break, they got back on the blocks and the race was on. Well, Stephanie finished in the top 5, and while I was pretty upset, Stephanie was just happy to be there. She continued to shine in high school, mostly as a swimmer, and was a real good lifeguard until she fell out of a chair one Saturday evening. I still don't know how that happened. I actually worry about her kids though. She falls out of a chair, Chad falls into a fountain in a tuxedo. I'm worried. Anyway, back to resilience. Stephanie's interest in nursing came obviously from her mother, but also from a classmate of hers who happened at age 13 to be a patient of mine with a horrible cancer. While the big children's hospital down the street suggested hospice, we were able to get her into remission for about 4 years. She and Stephanie became best friends, and despite how hard it was to face a lethal illness, Stephanie was a great friend to her and her family as well. After our family tragedy, she continued to amaze us with her ability to work full-time and carry on a full academic load. While not easy, she managed it all and got her in record time. She continues to inspire all of us with her energy, compassion, generosity, and intellect. If you are a resident on service, however, heaven help you. And whatever you do, if you can help it, don't get in the car when she is driving. True. From what I know about Chad, and from what I've heard, he is similar ill. Putting in much effort at each step of his educational career that led to him being somewhat sought after to be a faculty member at the University of Michigan. I see signs of him turning blue, but red still is a much better color. Being at a loss to provide the best advice to the new couple, I've been asking some of my patients what the secret to a long marriage is. I got a lot of different answers. The first one said, jab and duck, like marriages of battle. One said, you just need to learn to shut up. And a more comforting couple said, you need to listen rather than talk. How sweet. Finally, I have a minister who's been married for 42 years. 42 years. When I asked him, he said just one word, Jesus. I guess no surprise as a minister. Then he explained that Jesus has been an inspiration to him for the last 40 years. I said, wait a second, I thought you were married for 42 years. And true, he said, I have been, Doc, but Doc, those first 2 years were really rough. Now some personal advice for you, Chad. First, you have to realize that your wife will lie to you frequently. For example, when she says, tell me, I won't be mad, she's actually lying. And when she says, tell me, I don't look fat in this dress, do I? She not only is lying, but she wants you to lie as well. So go with it. Second, never ever say, you are just like your dad. While true, this will be wielded like a sword every time she's losing an argument. Third, only answer 50% of her questions, the safe ones. For the rest, there is no right answer, and she'll be mad whatever you say. So it's better to have selective hearing and ignore those questions.
Is that what you
They're obviously married. Fourth, be aware if she mumbles something that you don't understand, and when you ask her to repeat it and she says nothing, that there really is something, and you should leave the vicinity pronto. And finally, while this is a talent that will take years for you to develop, you need to listen, learn, and understand any word that she is not saying. Stephanie, your advice is as follows. If you want something from Chad, feed him. If you really want something, feed him dessert. Second, like I advise Chad, never say, did you put an LVAD in today, telemedicine guy? While it may feel good for an instant, there will be a lifetime of repeats where he is losing an argument. Third, realize that men only want one thing. No, not that. What they want, what they need is to win. So let them win. It will go much better in the future for both of you. And finally, do not, I repeat, do not start an argument first thing in the morning. Trust me on this one. He will have all day to try to figure out how to get back at you. Finally, before Astrid and I got married, we bought the book, How to Save Your Second Marriage Before It Starts. Yes, there is such a book. In there, they describe the 4 horsemen who can derail a relationship. Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. The first 3 are obvious, but what the heck is stonewalling? Take it from the master. Stonewalling, when wielded effectively, can really get you in trouble. What is it? Say you get into an argument and as usual your spouse is right and is winning the argument. So to snatch victory from defeat, you stop talking and give her the silent treatment. That's stonewalling. Trust me, Shad, that just makes her more mad, and then you have to go to the florist to buy her some roses, and as usual they're closed, so you go to Jewel and buy roses and Fannie Mae candy, cheap-ass roses, and she will say when you come back, how sorry can you be when you give me these crappy roses without a nice face, and bring me candy to make me fat. Then you'll try to tell her how you tried to get her some nice roses, and then she ends up stonewalling you. And then you find out you have to get your own dinner again. So to protect your sanity, stay away from these horsemen. So sincere congratulations to you both. If you are 10% as happy as I am, I have been for the last 40 plus years as a husband, you will be fine. Some say it's luck, but like everything else in life, you have to work hard. And if you do so, you will be rewarded with success, which will be measured by seeing all your family and everybody else around you being fulfilled, successful, healthy, and happy. So everyone, please join me. Here's to the happy couple.